We are here at the Heritage Foundation with our favorite person, Mr. Richard.
We are on our way to the Heritage Foundation. We got Mr. Fabian looking like a VIP already. We were supposed to interview the incoming deputy assistant to the incoming 47th president, but we had to push that back just a little. You know, it's a week before the inauguration, so totally understandable. But we still get to interview one of our, let's say, favorite individuals, right?
Our favorite for sure.
Mr. Richard Stern. So we're heading there right now.
All right, so today is day 2 and we are at the Heritage Foundation here in DC, right by the White House. And we're going to be interviewing our favorite person, Richard Stern. Giving praise to the president there.
Yeah.
We are here at the Heritage Foundation with our favorite person, Mr. Richard Stern. Here's David K over here.
Getting ready for it.
And the studs that are making this possible, making it look good. We had an incredible interview with Richard last time. Went over a lot of things. It went viral on Twitter. So now we are here for part 2, post-election, to see what is going to happen now.
All right. Can I get a count of 5 from everybody? Starting here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, moving right along.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And Richard.
1, 2, 3,
go.
4,
It's
5.
It's got to be different.
I gotta be optimistic. Count up.
I like
That's
it.
true.
Got to switch it up.
All right. We are sounding good. We are looking good. Everybody is happy. And you should be in good shape.
Mainstream narrative.
Manufactured consensus, as James Lindsay calls it.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, because the algorithms niche you so easily. In fact, I've actually essentially replicated polls that Elon's done, and other people have gotten completely different results.
Wow.
Right, but it's because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hang on. No, you guys are good. We're about to get going here.
Okay.
All right. Just making sure we're getting good audio, and we are going to be
Sweet.
pretty.
Nice. Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Well, we'll ask you.
Yeah.
I was going to say. Don't want to get too early with it.
Like surprise question, round number 10. But you're talking about a country, so Canada on average, if it became one state, and obviously it wouldn't be one state if it joined, but if a democratic socialism does to a country, they have been buried under regulations, massive government spending, poorly.
So we just got done with the Richard Stern interview here at the Heritage Foundation. We were waiting for our second guest, but it was an incredible interview. We went over Doge, cutting government waste. We went over Chinese influence in South America and Africa. We went over cryptocurrency. We went over a ton of things. So the video will be coming out very soon. And we got Greek Maria here.
Hi.
If you haven't seen our video where we talk about what happened at the TikTok debates, huge. And of course, Mr. David Kate
Got my tea again.
got his tea here, wearing his
Black on black on black.
Russian mobster.
Democrat funeral.
Yeah. So you don't know if he's gonna ask you questions or kidnap you,
Yeah.
and that's
Or
how
be
we
your-
like it.
Or be your bodyguard.
Or be your bodyguard.
Your twink bodyguard.
Yeah. So Maria, what's been going on?
What's been going on? Big news on TikTok. Last night the live stream was popping off. About 3 hours on live
Wow.
last night.
Oh my God.
And
Shout out to you.
people are really tuned in. So lots of stuff to come there. And then, of course, a big week coming up. We're a week out from Inauguration Day. We have 7 days until the biggest comeback in American history. So we're pumped.
Absolutely. And we will be there at the inauguration, Mr. David.
We sure will be.
It's important for 2 reasons. One is it's incredibly destructive to the social fabric of the United States.
So we just got done interviewing Jim Carafano and Richard Stern, both of the Heritage Foundation. Interviews were incredible. David, what'd you think?
It was awesome. We went from talking about the federal budget with Richard Stern to talking about national security and immigration and foreign policy with Jim. It's kind of like the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah.
The 2 most important issues for Americans in this election, we actually got to talk about, and not just like ride the surface of it. We got deep down into the details of it. So it was awesome.
Yeah, so those are the kind of interviews that we like to do. We know a lot of people do very superficial, surface level stuff, but we like to talk to the experts, really understand what's happening. I mean, these are people who are meeting with dignitaries and leaders of countries. You know, Jim was just with Viktor Orban of Hungary.
Which was pretty cool, huh? Like sitting right across from him, talking to him, knowing that maybe a couple months ago or a month ago, whatever it was, right across from him was, what's his name? Sorry, Viktor Orban.
Viktor Orban, yeah. So you really get a sense of what is actually happening in the deepest of the deepest meetings that you could have with presidents of countries and leaders of countries to see what exactly is on the forefront of topics that are being discussed and what they think is going to come of those talks. For instance, he was just talking about what he sees in the electorate in the next 10 years for America, well, specifically from the Democratic Party and the fracturing of it. So that was interesting to see too.
It is interesting, and the one thing that I can tell you guys that's really cool about these podcasts is that it's not like we're obviously dressed professionally, we're sitting down professionally, but we're laughing, we're having a good time, we're humanizing these people while still talking about this stuff in very, very detailed form. So it's awesome hybrid. I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Yeah, now we got to get back to the house because we have a beautiful stew cooking on the crock pot, and it smells incredible as soon as we walk in. So today is day 3. Yesterday we just did a lot of editing, all the interviews that we did yesterday, and now we are on our way to the Dirksen Senate office building for, what are we going there for, David?
Well, first of all, we got Pete Hegseth, not controversial at all, being confirmed today. So we're going to go see what's up with that. We'll probably run into the legacy media. We may troll the media while we wait for Pete Hegseth or something like that, but really excited for it. If we get a chance to ask Pete something, we definitely will. We'll just be, I guess, screaming at him, and hopefully he looks at us. And then we'll also see some senators that are going into the committee room to actually confirm the individual or hear him before they send him to the Senate floor to be confirmed. A lot of exciting stuff, all the swamp stuff that you always see on TV. See what's up with that.
Side of the Dirksen Senate office here, on the way to watch Pete Hegseth.
So we're inside the Senate building where we're going to watch Pete Hegseth go in front of the Armed Service Committee, where they're going to question him about everything that's going on regarding his past. You know how these Senate hearings usually are. Fabian, how does it feel to be in the Senate buildings?
Well, they never had anyone like us asking questions over here. So we are going to see what they say, what kind of mud they throw at him. This is a swamp, and you have a lot of Democrats on this committee, so we want to see what they say and then ask some questions about what it is that they say, either in support or in objection to Pete Hegseth.
I think it's SR228, so I think you're right.
So just as a little behind the scenes inside, well, first of all, as David was saying earlier, the actual confirmation hearings are not held in Congress. They're held at the Senate buildings with the committee members voting on whether or not to approve the nominations. Yeah. So when you get inside of the building, there are hundreds of rooms in there. So the first thing is you have to know exactly where to go because there's multiple floors. There's hundreds of actual buildings. All the senators' offices are in there. We were hanging out right by Senator Bernie Sanders' office. Good old Phil the Bird.
Your favorite senator.
My favorite senator, which I got a picture in front of where I looked angry on purpose just to make a good picture. But when you get in there, there's a line to get into the actual confirmation hearing. Probably a few hundred people. The actual chamber holds about 100 people. So if you're not one of the first 100, then you got to wait in line. So as seats clear out inside the chambers, they will fill them in with people who are in line. Pete Hegseth's confirmation, because it's very controversial, could last hours, it could last a few days, and no one actually knows. It's really dependent on each individual Congress member, Senate member, and the questions that they ask them. So we expect this to be it will probably go all day because you have some senators on there who really don't like him, specifically the Democratic ones. And we're going out to get some coffee now. We were inside, interviewed the founder of Code Pink. Very disruptive interview. We were right inside of the cafeteria, actually, where everyone's just kind of hanging out. and drinking coffee and things like that. And David got in their face, so they didn't like that. But now we're going to go get some coffee, and then we're going to return to the Dickerson Senate office building and catch some Pete Hegseth from inside. David saw the founder of Code Pink, which gets a lot of money from the CCP, so naturally we had to approach them and ask them for a nice interview, say that we're unbiased, which we are, and then David proceeded to kind of clean her clock and ask her the hard questions, and she was, her and the little minions were a little mad.
So basically, the second I started confronting her about the CCP funding, all her minions came around us, right? And they all have the same thing: no holy wars, no holy wars. And some of the stuff she was saying, I agree with. But the thing is that her solutions are crazy. I mean, seriously. And the one thing I don't get down with is the disruption that they cause. I mean, that is key Marxist tactics.
It's all Marxist.
And I feel like that's why they get so much. Oh, look at that. Look at this shot real quickly. Ooh, baby. The Capitol. Fabian, what's going to happen at the Capitol soon?
What was that?
What's going to happen at the Capitol soon?
Oh, at the Capitol soon. We're going to be there watching Papa Trump, or Uncle Donnie, as I like to call him, get inaugurated. And we will be there.
Uncle Donnie. Uncle Donnie, you're the only uncle that I'll freeze my ass off for to go watch become the 47th. So basically, we're on our way, like we said, to get some coffee because it's cold. We got some hours to kill because it's day one of all these nomination hearings or confirmation hearings. So one cool thing, guys, is that a lot of people think that all the stuff that you see on TV when it comes down to Senate stuff is over at the Capitol. But the reality of it is that around the Capitol are all of these different buildings. It's like a Senate building, a House building, you know, they all have different names for them or whatever. And that is where actually the committee hearings are held. Once the committees pass a bill, or for example today, once they say, okay, we approve of this nomination, then it'll actually head on over to the Capitol, where on the left side of the Capitol, they will go and actually confirm the nominee by casting their vote. So 100 senators will be in the chamber. As long as he gets 50, right? Yeah, he needs 50 because J.D. Vance is the president of the Senate. He can always break that tie. But yeah, we're gonna go get some coffee. See you guys later.
All right, as you can see here, there is the Capitol. And right here, although they look very unassuming, this is where Fox News is at. We just did a tour a few months ago inside it with the Heritage. We have C-SPAN and we have CBS News. And the reason why these buildings are so expensive, partly is because out of these windows facing that way, you get a view of the actual Capitol. So it's pretty incredible that when you're watching the newscasters with the Capitol building behind them, it's not actually a green screen, it's the actual Capitol. So that was our day. We are back at the Airbnb. It's been an incredibly eventful day. And now, David, what are we going to do?
Editing. That's all I've been doing, and creating thumbnails and eating stew. We're like, if you've been keeping up with the vlog, you know that we've been going hard at this. This is stew number 3 now.
Absolutely. So we are going to be doing these every day. Excuse me, I got a little cough from the sub-zero weather here. We're going to be doing this every day and showing you more and more of what is happening. Just so you know, the inauguration is on the 20th. It is now the 15th. So up until then, things are going to get busier and crazier and crazier. Tomorrow morning, we'll be at more confirmation hearings.
So yeah, we got Pam Bondi tomorrow, Christy Nome. So I think it's gonna be an awesome day. We got DHS and we got AG, right? Pam Bondi's AG.
Yep.
How cool would it have been if Matt Gaetz was AG though? Can you imagine the chaos?
Well, it would have been cool to be in there. Yeah, I should see the chaos. But he's over at OAN now, doing whatever he's doing. So.